Yeah. What? 2021.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Let her rock.
Let it rock. Let the beat rock. It's like Hard Knock Life.
This is gonna be one of those things where it's like in Dave, where like if we give you the if we give you the beat to run on, you know, you got to use the most of your opportunity instead of just folding in.
I will
know,
say
more
we've
like-
been a much more welcome environment than like the carport in 8 Mile.
Yeah.
For some reason, you just haven't jumped in.
Well, much like an 8 Mile, you know, it's nerve-wracking, and I'm gonna choke. So I wanna like, and he was better than I am now.
No. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Here's the Scenario podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Mike Feeney, being joined with me, as always.
Brendan motherfucking Sagalow.
And also...
Mike Cannon. Hell
Wow.
yeah, not supposed to curse in the first 5 minutes. Brendan.
Whoops.
Instantly.
Well, this is a hypothetical based podcast. We answer your questions, your what ifs, morality, anything that you have. It's more of like a podcast obstacle course that you help create. Send us your questions, your hypotheticals on at here'sthescenario.com. You can go send it through the Instagram, send us an email, whatever you want, and we'll get to them. We got a bunch today from listeners. So I'm very excited about that. And also, we are a brand new pod in terms of being publicly here on Laugh Button. So if you are new to the podcast, write a review, tell some friends about it, share the wealth, share the love, and we'll just keep giving you that good.
It's getting bigger and bigger every single week. I'm getting more DMs from people saying, holy shit, where has this pod been? Where did it come from? Like, babes, we've been doing it for over a year in the secrecy of the Patreon.
Yeah.
And now we're finally out loud, proud.
The absolute ego that we had to be like, we will do what no successful Patreon, turns out for good reason, podcast has done before, which is be Patreon only, and there's not even a public free element that people would know about. So
Yeah, we really had the balls to do that and failed miserably. So welcome to the fucking show, everybody.
Welcome to the free show.
yeah.
We also had to kind of jump through hoops for some legal obstacles we may have had initially.
Shout out our lawyer. What's up?
Shout out Gas.
Should we get some questions going?
Let's get some questions.
All right,
going.
this was sent to us via Jonathan Osmond. Here's my question for you guys. In this future podcasting is illegal. Oh, in this future, get it. Podcasting is illegal. The three of you get invited to a private pirate podcast yacht where anything goes. You each +2, one friend from the comedy scene. Why +2, one friend? You each +2?
Okay, so we're all on the Skankfest boat.
Yeah, +2 for a comedy scene. And the other...
We're on the SS Skank ship.
The SS Skankfest.
I mean, this is written crazily. Where anything goes, you each +2,
This guy must be a Sagalow fan.
Yeah. You think so?
you each +2, one friend from the comedy/podcast scene, the other is your dream get, dead or alive, whoever you think would be fun to party with for 3 months, and you're fully loaded, good to go. Oh, did I mention your captain is the one and only Louis J. Gomez? Bon voyage, doggies. Love the podcast, dude. You all rock. Thanks.
I don't understand
Let's
this
hang on.
question
I
at
do.
all.
I do very well.
I get it.
Yeah, I get it very well. However, let's like just draw attention to the adorableness of whoever submitted this, because in their heart of hearts, all their favorite podcasters just hang out together at all times. Podcasting is illegal, but you still get to seize your friends.
Yeah. So we're on a boat. We're going on a private pirate podcast yacht. Okay, so that's what we're doing. We each get to bring 2 people. One is our friend from the comedy scene, and one is our dream get, dead or alive.
That's right.
So what people are you bringing?
Friend from the comedy scene, boom, Lucas with his camera.
Yeah.
Instantly, he's recording footage, either secretly or publicly, whatever the rules of the boat are.
Okay.
And then dream get.
Well, it's a yacht pirate podcast boat, so I think there is no illegality. I think the boat in itself is illegal, so anything that happens on it and in international waters, I believe, is copacetic.
Right, but that'll go on patreon.com/scenario pod.
Sure will.
So,
yeah, or the dark web.
that'll be immediately uploaded to Silk Road.
Right.
And be on the next Little St. James travel brochure.
Yeah, Al Qaeda behead someone, and coming up, here's the scenario.
It's just me and Brendan on our knees on a sand dune being like, I don't know how we got here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Somebody
showing
with
our
a knife.
assholes to a man in a ski mask.
That's what overlook about the ISIS videos is that those poor fellas must be sweltering hot in their ski masks.
One guy should have just been like, take off the mask. Maybe you'll think straight.
Yeah, isn't our facial hair enough of an obstruction
Yeah.
to our features?
Yeah. Why are you mad at me? You should be mad at the God that told you to be like this.
So who are you bringing? You said you're bringing
He's bringing Lucas.
and then who
Yeah.
else? Who's your
The
dream
dream
get, dead or
get?
alive?
Dead or alive? I mean, is there? How many times can we say Leonardo DiCaprio?
We
But
can
I
say
don't
it
even
too
want to
much.
bring him on that boat because I want when I hang out with Leo to be perfect. I can't expose him to the likes of
Yeah.
LJG and company. He'd be like, "Oh,
It's also
I've swam in cold water before. I'm going to dive off the side of this ship."
yeah, he'll get a helicopter to take him out of there. I would
Even though
say
he's fighting
because again, you got to
green
keep in
gas.
mind this is a podcast thing, so you want somebody who's going to be good on podcasts. And I know I run the risk of them steamrolling and taking over the pod, but it's either way, it'll make for a brilliant thing to watch. I'm bringing Robin Williams with me
Nice.
because he would just imagine him on podcasts. I mean, you never get a word in, but it'd be so
I feel
fun.
like
Have you heard him on podcast?
I feel
He
like
did
he'd be a lot
Marin's.
quieter.
He did Marin's.
Yeah, but in a
quiet little church mouse.
yeah, but on a private setting, like I mean, in a public setting where it's like it's a live podcast, he's gonna perform.
Sure.
Okay. That's a
So you want him on the Impractical Jokers cruise?
Essentially, yeah.
Which brings me to mine. I'm bringing Murr.
Yeah, and my friend, I'll bring Sal. That's all. I'll
you
bring
know what?
Sal and
I'll bring frankincense.
My friend in the comedy, I'm going to bring Luke Moniz, and we're just going to make POV It Be Like videos all fucking day.
Yeah, I don't even get, like, wouldn't everybody be there? I don't know. Kinnison? Sure.
Yeah.
Any dead guy.
Any dead person.
It really doesn't matter. What, you want to listen to George you want to bring Carlin on and just have him
Carlin not on
be
a podcast.
brilliant in front of a bunch of mouth-breathing idiots on
No.
a ship in the middle of the
But you got to remember the podcast. They're just there for the live recording. The podcast will live forever. So this may go down as one of the most amazing episodes of pod. I mean, imagine if we did our podcast. Here's a scenario, and we had guess Sam Kennison, Robin Williams, and Murr. I think you said
and Murr, I believe.
the really nice guy from Impractical Jokers.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
Some
know
would
if
say
he-
the quietest one.
But don't you think he'd be horrified by your party practice?
No, because he maybe.
Let's say, I mean, if we're
can
going
party.
on
what's
this,
my party practice?
if
I
we're
just
going
smoke.
on this ship, we're doing old us. We're not being Sobe Sags and fucking no drinking dick law. You know,
Dick Loss.
You're not.
No, I'm drinking on this ship. There's no rules. Why would I?
Well, there's
would
still
I
you have your
still,
own
like, your-
self-preservation rules.
Yeah.
You can't just run around with your dick out jerking off on people.
Why not? If that's the pirate ship, that's the pirate.
Yeah, and if Murr tells you to, you
Yeah.
have to, or you can't be on the show.
That's right.
Yeah.
What if I have an earpiece
Yeah.
and he's being very
All right, Mike.
persuasive?
All right, Mike. Take your dick out now.
Yeah.
Get blackout.
I'm like, but it won't fit through my zipper.
Sorry, Murr told me to.
It's like the son of Sam, some guy who kills.
Murr's barking in my head.
Sorry, all the Impractical Jokers are telling me to kill people in my head.
So Murr told me to. They look over the side of the boat. There's a dolphin looking.
yeah. The guy claims Q made him do it.
Yeah.
So. And as far as the dead guy goes, and we mentioned him on the Patreon, but so maybe that's why he's in my head. But Philip Seymour Hoffman, I'm bringing him so me and him could do some hair on.
Let's track back because I'm interested in that. But let's track back how there is yet to be a widespread internet thing about Q from Impractical Jokers being Q from QAnon. How is those the easily most
Well, I
connected?
think
Like even
because-
every flat earther is like that's just two
Joe
on the
Because
nose.
in-
Joe Sal and
Impractical-
Murr are like, make them go to the Capitol and climb the walls.
Because I think it's
ties, zip
because Impractical Jokers fans are like the most pure-hearted people that don't even know what's going on with Q and the hell that is.
yeah.
I feel like they have a pretty steep Q contingency.
I could
Really?
see that
Yeah.
Venn diagram hitting each other.
Yeah.
Impractical.
Listen,
Jokers
nice
fans
people
Well,
aren't,
Staten Island, I guess.
aren't exclusive from being susceptible to misinformation. You know what I mean?
But they're probably susceptible to rioting and storming.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they're doing anything about it.
yeah.
I'm just saying that deep down they know that, there's a bunch of ships of kids being funneled right into DC.
Are we still talking about the Jokers here? So, okay, next.
I have a bunch from Muthoni.
Oh, I got one from Muthoni as well. We probably have the same thing. He said, would you push a button? It says bottom, but I'm assuming button.
Yeah.
Proofread our messages. Would you push a button that kills one of your co-hosts if it meant saving immediate family?
That's funny because he sent a version of that said, would you push also a bottom that gives you $1 million, but 3 random people die in the world at random.
Oh.
Random.
I mean, does that mean I just have to push you in the butt to save?
I get you push a bottom.
At my ass.
Yeah, just press
now,
the button.
It's different. Yours is different because it said kill one of the co-hosts.
Kill one of the co-hosts, and then I get to choose which one of you dies.
That's going to be tough for you.
No, it's not that tough because you have somebody that's living for you.
Of
She
course.
relies on you.
Of course
You're
you
out.
kill me.
Oh.
You're out.
Why is it always me that you want to kill?
Because you have less to live for.
That is
That is
not
true.
at
If
all.
you are the most
Because
killable.
you have a wife?
Yeah, and he's got a child.
Yeah.
He's
Who
got
the fuck cares?
What do you have?
I got family
a
too.
secret rap career to protect?
Yeah, and I got family.
Who?
My mom.
You take care of them. They
even like
depend
you.
on you. No,
Probably eventually.
the burden would be taken off
Yeah.
of them.
All of a sudden, they'd feel like they were running without a parachute.
Yeah, they'd be like, "Are we going on vacation?"
Yeah.
They're not even notified yet, and they're like, "Oh,
Why is
weight
our
has been lifted."
Yeah,
Why is
they
our
feel
cell
it.
phone bill so much lower all of a sudden? I don't know. Yeah, I think.
Are you on a family plan? How many times do they get hit with the "you're currently at 50 gigs of data"? Everybody's slowing down because of Brendan's stories.
That's funny. It's more of my sister, if anything. But also, we're on like an unlimited data thing.
Oh, nice, top tier.
That's say.
Now, I would say if I had to push a button to kill you guys, I'm not going to do it. Because I think here's why. I think that in the long run, we will make far more than $1 million through this podcast and Patreon together.
Oh yeah,
And through our career endeavors. So $1 million's not enough.
No.
But if it's, would you push that button that gives you $1 million, but 3 random people in the world die?
I have no problem with that. People die all the time.
Yeah, fuck it.
Boy. All right.
Killing innocents.
He's got more. Let's see. If you had to lose, I think we've done this before. If you had to lose one of your 5 senses, which one?
We've done that before.
Yeah.
All right.
What
Fuck
is
it.
that? What did we say?
I'm saying
You said no.
hearing.
Oh yeah.
Because I still want to be able to see the world. I want to be able to experience taste and touch. I don't need to
You
hear.
could also learn how
Yeah.
to talk in sign language.
Because even with if you're like, oh, you lose music, it's like you can still feel like the bass.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I feel like deaf people still get the general sense of music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They can feel it in their hearts. It still swims around their brains, their sense memory, all that stuff. People that turn deaf. But sight, smell, all that shit, it's just too much right now. I need it right now.
Yeah.
Everything is dependent on these.
Yeah, you get rid of taste, your life sucks. You get rid of smell, your life sucks. Seeing, I could never.
I mean, it's funny because most people are like, but what about hearing danger? All that stuff. And it's like, we spend so much time like putting ourselves at risk by wearing headphones anyway that it's a pointless sense.
Oh yeah, I drive around on those Revels with my headphones on with fucking
you.
the sound.
Oh, cool. So you can't even hear cars and people
No, and
honking.
it's a Headspace app, so Brendan's doing the PJ
Yeah.
and King of Staten Island,
Yeah, he's doing the Undertaker eyes. Now,
shooting down 2nd Avenue.
if you're alone, this is a good one for Canada, I think, because this would be the most apropos. If you're alone with a small child and a wild dog in a park covered in blood, I guess, approaches you, what do you do?
The dog?
Yeah, if the dog's covered in blood, you have crew.
And it's approaching?
It's
like,
approaching.
Like approaching.
No, it's covered in
Covered in
blood,
blood?
so I
Covered
would
in
assume
blood
it's
and-
probably not.
It's not really making any sounds.
Yeah,
or
let's say
anything,
it's not aggressive,
so
nor
you
is it
don't
happy.
really know. Yeah, you don't know.
You could have just killed a squirrel.
Well, initially, I'm walking sideways. You ever see that guy that like just sometimes lays with lions in Africa? And the
Yeah.
way he approaches them with his back, and it's all very docile. I've watched that enough to think that I can definitely just move in with a pack of lions. I would do that to the dog, where I would pick up my boy, and I would just kind of move sideways, being no threat. And if the dog continued at some point, then you got to get a little big, like it's a bear. You have to be like, ah, ah. And, if they get out of there, what were you?
But I will say with dogs, when you get big, that's when dogs think that they go into, like, if you want to get a dog excited, you put your hands over your head and go like, because then they think they're about to either play and that's like the wrestle mode.
Well, then at that point, that dog's getting killed.
Yeah.
Because
that's what I'm saying. You got to put down crew.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If I move
hands.
away sideways and the dog doesn't move and it keeps following us, then I put crew down, get big, and if the dog takes that as a challenge, I'm jumping on top of the dog and squeezing the life out.
Yeah,
of it.
this is Crew's like superhero origin story where like you put him in a tree or something and you go, don't move, don't get out of the tree, and then you fight the dog and the dog kills you, and then he just becomes like, and then he kills the
becomes
dog.
dog killer.
Yeah.
Well, you ever see the episodes of like Oprah? Where it's superhuman feats of strength by a parent when the kid is in danger, and it's like their car gets stuck on the train tracks, and a train's coming, and they're like, "What the fuck? What do we do?"
Yeah.
And the parent literally like lifts the car because they have that ability.
I would like to see on that. I would like to see the next week of that person's life, because there's so many documentations of this story of like a woman like lifting up a Toyota like enough to her kid to get out. But then, like, I want to see after they've saved it and the adrenaline's worn off, they're like, I tore every disc in my back. I need ridiculous, every vertebrae has
permanent
collapsed.
herniated disc.
Or their fucking ego is just off the charts, and like they get cut off at the grocery store, and they just start fucking doing this to people and go, you know what I did?
Push everybody
Picked up a Toyota Yaris over my arm.
But with that said, I really do think, and this is all in my mind's eye, so who knows if it would come to fruition if reality pressed, but I could rip the legs, tail, and head off of a dog if it was trying to hurt myself.
Definitely the tail.
Every part of its body. I could leave it being an open wound, hairy sausage on the fucking sidewalk.
It's just a fucking legless, armless, fucking...
Just a meat cylinder with no head, no legs, little bit of a bushy tail, even more blood.
I'm always willing to punch a dog right in the fucking face if it comes at me.
Never allowed in my house.
You ever see Far and Away?
Cheat.
What?
With Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman? I believe it's their second motion picture together. It's about an Irish guy. And Tom Cruise is maybe the worst brogue in all of cinematic history.
Okay.
But he fucking decks a horse in the face.
Oh, that's fun.
Awesome. Cool. It's so dope. And that I could absolutely just fucking plop one into. I mean, it depends what dog, because a pit bull would just eat that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Its head is alligator strong.
The pit bull will be like that dude that was in the O'Malley fight, just fucking
Just
continuing forward.
just keeping walking forward as you're tuning it up.
We got one more question from Muthoni. Would you rather? I'm going to try to interpret and make sense of their question because it's written crazily. But essentially, would you rather, if you couldn't live in the United States and you could only live north in Canada or Mexico or anywhere in South America, choose one country where you live in?
Canada.
Maybe Peru and just take ayahuasca monthly.
That'd be cool. I feel like taking that would get kind of old. You know what I mean? You're like, I don't want to do ayahuasca.
I don't know if it would get old or if it would permanently restructure your brain where it no longer made life objectively fun.
Yeah.
It would just kind of be like you're on a roller coaster at all times.
Here's the thing with South America. It's like all of it seems like really beautiful cultures, and some of the food in like Argentina and Chile sound amazing and stuff, but also it feels like the crime there outside, it seems way worse than most parts of Mexico. Not like Juarez, obviously, but Mexico, it's like, again, you can live like a king there for next to nothing. Where Canada, you're basically paying the same. South America, you're paying a lot less too, but you're probably also getting, if you're in Rio de Janeiro or something, it's expensive. But then you're like, people are getting kidnapped off the street, you know what I mean, and held at gunpoint.
Any cartel heavy place, which I believe Canada may be without. I don't necessarily want to go. Like, I guess I could kind of plop down in Tulum and live with a bunch of, whiteys from Brooklyn. That's what that entire place is. But I mean, everywhere. Yeah, maybe Cabo. I've never been, but like all the stories even of people just kicking open a resort door and just being like
Yeah.
Sorry about that, but it didn't reach you. I know it.
It hit on my face.
No, that was mustache juice that you had there 3 days ago.
It was. I watched the globule come
I watched it
from
too. It landed short.
Glob.
I mean, it is.
It was like a Giannis free throw before Game 6.
Glob cannon. I think the fucking place to go, the cartel place, would be cool because it could fucking remake who you are. It would be like good for me, dude. Like I go there, you see me.
Cartel would toughen you up.
Exactly.
Yeah, give you
see
responsibility.
You see me in like a year, and I have like 2 revolvers, and I'm like speaking perfect Spanish.
I see. I think Brendan would be a guy where he would be like enough to kill somebody, but he still is squeamish on blood, so he'd have to be like, oh, ew.
Yeah.
Is he dead? Did I get him?
Brendan would be known as El Vomitos because after every murder, he'd be like,
Yeah. Los Woozy.
yeah.
This is the handiwork of Los Woozy. Los Woozy, use the Uzi. All right, we got more questions. Let's get into this here. We got from YL, who says, "Que pasa, mi chicos? Would you rather be stuck in a romantic comedy with enemies or a horror TV show with friends?"
horror TV show, so
Yeah.
it's never ending.
What do you mean?
Like a TV show obviously goes longer for there's a reason, right, why they picked movie versus TV show. It's not, they didn't just throw that in randomly.
Yeah.
The movie is.
But you're in horror. You're constantly being like either attempted to be
Scared.
murdered
Did
or
they say
scared.
stuck forever in both?
Yeah, rather be stuck in a romantic comedy with enemies or a horror. I mean, here's the thing. I would definitely rather be in a romantic comedy with enemies because in a romantic comedy, my enemies will probably become my friends at
Yeah.
some point in the end, or they'll learn a valuable lesson about being mean to me or something, where the horror is just us. If I'm with my friends, that means you guys are probably getting murdered all around me at some point.
Plus, I don't know if you guys have ever had this. I'm certain you have. But have you ever met somebody and they dislike you immediately and then eventually you have sex with them?
Oh, I didn't think it was going to end that way.
Yeah,
the
me
sentence.
neither. And I was so much.
And not in the same night. I'm talking, I'm talking about over time.
I think so.
There's
I think
definitely
everyone who
been-
I've ever had sex with hated me. when they first met me.
Initial impression has never been Brendan's strong suit, so I think whoever's was probably like, and then eventually like
No,
wore me down.
it's actually quite the opposite. I make an amazing first impression,
And then you
then
have
they
sex with them.
eventually, and I have sex with them, and then eventually they go, "This is."
Brendan's like when Brendan jumps into a pool. There's a big splash initially, and then it's just kind of bubbles
Pruny.
at the bottom.
Yeah, it just gets real pruny.
All right, so
I picture Brendan's sex to look like a snow globe. Just
Why?
flakes
Oh, that's funny.
everywhere.
are we convoying on romantic comedy?
Romantic.
Hey, now here's the best part. She wrote
I don't want to shove you into a scythe.
Yeah.
You know?
One more question, and then she wrote, "Nope, I lost the second question in my pot brain. We'll try harder next time. Sorry."
Hilarious.
But we do have one from Leslie.
Man?
Leslie Degnan. Close.
Degnan.
If you could help or hinder any serial killer / evildoer in history, whom would it be?
Help or hinder?
Yes, and then love the podcast.
This like isn't my strong suit. Jim Norton has maybe the most encyclopedic brain for serial killers, and it's just not my like when I look them up and I'm like, oh that one and oh that one. They, I'm easily reminded, but off the top of my head, I have like one. I have Dahmer. That's literally all I
Ted
know.
Bundy?
Ted Bundy.
Leatherface?
Yeah. It's like as soon as people remind me,
Bean.
then I'm like, right, those exist as well. But I just
Richard
they're not
Ramirez.
on the surface of my brain.
Ted Bundy,
What?
too, is pretty...
Richard Ramirez.
Who's that?
He was
like my
a
soccer coach.
right? Wasn't he he was the guy? Is that the name? Yeah. It is. It's the guy. He was on. He was actually.
Oh wait, let's scale that. Nicole, the certainty in which you said yes with no.
Yeah.
Did you even look that up? Oh, you looked it
Yeah.
up. Okay, I thought you were just.
That dude was on like the fucking. What show was that? The Batch.
Over
Bachelor.
15 people.
He was on The Bachelor.
No, he was on. What was the show? It was like
he
where there's a
died.
wall between. There's a single person and then there's a wall and then there's 3.
The dating game.
The dating game. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He was on it, dude.
Oh yeah, I heard about this guy then.
Yeah.
I didn't know Richie Ramirez was the dating game killer.
At least killed 14 people and raped and
He killed on
tortured
that
at least
show.
24 more. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I don't know how you help serial killers, or
Well, yeah, it's somebody that like you can kind of get on with their like. Did anybody serial kill for a good cause?
I will say this would be the only way I would help or hinder would be like mob stuff, like if you're like Tommy or Jimmy in Goodfellas or something where you're like, I'm going to help them, maybe hide the evidence, kind of like then.
Serial killer. Is serial killer someone who just kills many? Regardless of motive? Like, can you have a motive to kill that many? Or is it bereft of motive? And then you kill multiple people.
You can have a motive that's like you hate women.
No apparent motive.
No apparent
really?
motive. So it's all like symbolism and all that weird shit that they put together in their brain.
It's the need to do it. It's like they get like a I have to do this kind of feeling.
But some of them also, like a 70 virgin thing, they think they have a higher purpose.
True.
I think if you kill 2 people after that, it's just like you got a taste for blood. Because I think if you kill one person, you're probably like, you're 50-50 whether you're like, oh God, that was the worst thing I've ever done, or being like, I felt nothing, I'm going to keep doing it. But if you kill 2 people, 2 separate times, and you're like, well, now death is just.
Or like Aaron Hernandez, he killed 3 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But he knew all of them.
himself.
So he's not a serial killer, right?
Well,
is he? Or he's just a mass murderer? Is that what that is?
No.
You could murder.
No, mass murder is like multiple people in one shot. Yeah.
Okay.
Serial is like separate, methodical, he's a serial killer.
But it was all revenge based. So like serial killer is bereft of a motive without, I keep saying that word,
but
sounds smart.
But it can have a motive, but it doesn't have to have a motive.
You're taking my breath away. I would hinder Ted Bundy, and I would do it from afar in the parking lot near the car that he would put women in. I would just stand by like
yellow beetle or whatever it was
and just start shouting, "Don't do that!"
Yeah, he's gonna get you. He's gonna get you.
He kills people.
This is what he's known for that.
Move. Is you sit on a stoop where like Dahmer's 14-year-old Asian boy with a hole in his head runs up to the cops and they're like, "Move it on, Sally," and you're like, "May want to take a closer look."
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it was so funny if I'm just shouting from afar and Ted Bundy, the woman walks away and Ted like looks at me.
Dude, that guy looks like, I mean, I know he's very like charming and, he was like a decent looking guy and stuff and was like just incredibly great with his words and swaying people. But he looks like when he's mad, like he's the scariest person on earth. Like his
I've never
face,
seen him mad.
Yeah, look at that. Even like the ones where he's kind of straight faced, maybe like in that. Like, it's like you could picture him just over you, squeezing your throat, you know?
I gotta say, though, bring up pictures of Brendan. Like, if there was like, let's attach like murder to Brendan, right? Like mass murder comes out in 2 weeks that Brendan's just been fucking taking lives in between recordings of here's a scenario. If we look at his picture with that knowledge, do we also see that?
Oh, you know what?
Yep.
Now that you mentioned it,
Yep.
I think well, at least he only has one picture with a knife on his Instagram, right?
Things are going to start changing.
Because if there
fellas.
was a second picture with a knife, then that would really kind
Is there
of
a second picture? With
lead it to be a.
I mean, hang on, go to the most recent, because that should be on the cover of the New York Post when it's announced.
Man
Brendan
kills
killed
friends.
De Blasio.
Man kills friends and De Blasio for some reason.
Nightmare. All right, so we've all figured that out. Last question that I got over here from.
I don't know if you like us. I know that was to Brendan, but I felt it too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
wow.
felt that. Yeah. I don't know
It was
why.
that strong.
I like empath.
Yeah,
to everything. And you're like, okay. And I was like, oh.
I didn't say okay.
For the first time, I felt Brendan.
Doesn't feel good.
No, I'm feeling a little Brendan today.
Northern Nature Guy says, you are a bouncer at a highly exclusive nightclub. Which celebrity would you arbitrarily turn away for your own enjoyment? And I'll tell you who mine is.
Oh.
Kim Kardashian.
No kidding.
Just to be like,
You can have something.
you can't have, yes, Brendan, you can't have something. Anything, this one thing, I know I'll get fired for this, but you're not coming in.
And then she'll be like, fuck you. I'm going to break up Giannis Antetokounmpo's marriage.
Yeah.
I feel like one of them is going to absolutely infiltrate his marriage after the NBA Finals and ruin that man's life.
I would do Doja Cat, and then I would go, I'm just kidding. You remember me? You remember me? Please.
I'll tell you who the scariest person.
Get in here.
The scariest person that you could do this to, but deserves it, is Chris Brown.
Yeah.
Because, dude, my buddy, so Chris Brown was at the Yankee game, right? And he's, it is a couple years ago. The Rihanna stuff is fresh. All of his shit at home. Remember that? All the cops were going to his house all the time, and he like threw a duffel bag of automatic weapons.
I remember that.
Out his window, and they just like picked it up and were like, what? And he had, pounds of weed. There were girls leaving the house with like bloody lips. It was just a fucking nightmare. And my buddy was at the Knick game, and they showed Chris Brown up on the thing, and people, most people like cheered and booed, like it was kind of a mix, and he was like, boo, fuck Chris Brown, like that volume, from his seat. And apparently Chris's entire row of Bloods was sitting behind them and were like, you're fucking dead. We're killing you after this game. And my buddy's with his wife like, what? And they're like, you're dead. And they're like, we're calling him right now. He literally watched them pick up the phone. He watched Chris Brown pick up the phone. They discussed beating my buddy up after the game.
You want us to do something about this? And then you're just being like, what is he saying? Don't influence. Don't say we should beat him up, right? You got to ask him fairly.
You have to say the sentence.
You got to say it.
Don't add any.
Don't lead the witness.
Don't lead the witness. Just, what did he say? Can you put on speaker?
Tell him I said hi.
Honestly, Run It was really good.
Yeah.
16-year-old.
So what happened?
So him and his wife left in like the second quarter.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they just got the fuck out of the game, and I guess probably told a bunch of security guards on the way out they wanted to make as much space between them and the gang of whatevs that were left in MSG.
Oh
terrifying.
God, that's terrifying.
So Chris Brown, Kim Kardashian, who are you keeping out?
Well, I said Doja Cat as a joke, but it would be funny to watch someone try to do that to Chris Brown, like through shaking, just like, sorry.
He would.
You cannot
tune me up.
Yeah.
Like, without a question.
He's like 5'6", isn't he?
It doesn't matter. He is one of the most athletic people ever. The way he dances, the way he plays sports, like he dunks.
6'1". Uh-oh.
He can dunk really easily. He's just like, he's all springs. He's a human made out of springs. It's insane. So he's
a human made of springs.
Dude,
he's
they
a
need
human
to get
mattress.
They need to get him in this celebrity boxing shit. If Jake Paul wants to really show out, go against fucking Chris Brown.
Yeah.
Dude,
Damn, Rihanna's tall. She's 5'8".
Yeah.
Wow.
Huh.
I would keep out,
but still punching down.
I would keep out Joe Biden just because I think it would be funny to be like not looking at him, going like, nah, man.
You just go, no, and he's
Come
like,
on, man.
Hey, come on, man.
Hey, man.
Hey, man.
Come on.
Let me in, man.
I was just in there.
Come on.
It is funny because we're so new.
As John Wayne used to say, let me in, probably.
Yeah, let me in, N-word, which is probably what John Wayne would always say. Now, I do think that it is funny that we're so new into the Biden presidency, and I think it was also because Trump was maybe one of the easiest people to impersonate that, like, nobody does like a great Biden impression yet. All of us are struggling to be like, hey, come on. We're like trying to get our old voice calculated just right to be like, come on, man. And like geezer it up a little bit, like tuning.
I also think that it's been a very clear strategy to make the American people forget there's a president. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He is not out in these streets.
No,
you don't hear from him. It's like, whatever, maybe a South Lawn thing or whatever. Kind of, but it's also like, what sketchy shit is.
But that's how every president was before.
I know,
him.
and I'm not with it.
Ah.
I'm not with any of it. I don't like
What
any
would
of
you
it.
like? What would you want in a president?
What would I want?
Yeah,
I would
nothing
want
will make me happy.
I would want a non-bloodthirsty kid fucker that actually services the American people and listens to.
But if he does, he won't have enough time to be interacting with the public on a day-to-day basis.
That's right. But at least we'd hear about things that were actually getting done instead of.
You want him to fuck kids though?
No. I said a
bloodthirsty kid fucker.
That's right.
Oh, I thought you went.
He just wants non-bloodthirsty, comma. I also want him to be a kid fucker.
I want him to be a non-thirsty, bloodthirsty kid fucker.
I'll settle for 1 out of 2.
Yeah, a bloodthirsty non-kid fucker.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at Brendan coming up with a grammar gymnastics right there.
I don't know what's happening.
Get another question. Let's go.
Okay. I did take pictures.
That was you doing the scene in Sopranos when they decide to go to war with New York and Syl and Tony start throwing like shadow
really
punches at each other.
I totally.
Please isolate just the really.
I don't remember.
That was so earnest.
That from fucking...
Really? You think some of Syl?
Okay. I don't know, T.
It's just
De Niro?
De Niro? Is that De Niro?
Yeah.
It's your De Niro for sure.
I don't know,
Hey, Brendan always finds a way to work his De Niro in.
Okay. If you
2 months ago, someone told him it was a great De Niro. I think we did on the podcast, and he's been working it
Biggest
ever
mistake.
since into everything.
pretty good.
Instagram stories.
That was your worst one by far.
Well, they can't all be touchdowns. So, if you were to be executed tomorrow, but could decide the method, how would you prefer to go? And the Big Book of If put a little picture of a syringe and a bottle of pills.
Just to help aid your answer.
Yeah.
You know what? I would like to have sex with an AIDS-infested woman.
Oh.
And then die organically.
But you're going to die
That's
in a
a long,
terrible,
horrible
terrible
death.
way.
That's fine.
I mean, hey, pussy ain't that good. Am I right, fellas?
That's not your camera.
It is my
Oh,
camera.
I know. I thought I could confuse you.
I'm always confused.
confused
That's
myself.
my secret.
We've hit a lull in the last 3 minutes.
Because of me. Yeah, I don't know. I think what I would do is I'd walk the plank off of a fucking building. Because
Oh,
it's
no way.
scary, but you do not feel the pain when you hit the ground.
No, and also it would be pretty funny because you wouldn't have the time to think. Like, you don't stand at the edge of the diving board and be like, and then finally jump off. If you're walking the plank on a
Close your
building,
eyes, walk
you're getting
fuck
blown off the plank before you make it to the
Yeah,
end.
you're probably rolling your ankle and falling off the side, hitting most of the little outside building juts on the way down.
Just a whipping wind off the Hudson knocks you directly into sixth.
Oh, it'd be so brutal. You got to hope, too, that the building's tall enough to where you have such lack of oxygen that you pass out before you hit the ground. Because the whole rest of the way, you'd be screaming and crying and like, I didn't want to do this. I regret this.
Brendan hitting
Help.
the pavement, though, would be like
Splat.
a human
Splat.
water balloon.
Splat.
Like just boosh. You ever see those if you high, like in the water balloon wraps around a fist or whatever,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
like all and then slow motion breaks? That would be Brendan on the floor.
I'm changing my answer. I want to die the way that guy went in the Titanic movie, and I want to hit the fucking
Hit the table.
propeller?
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah.
yeah, the drown.
Oh, see, I want to be like the Italian man that from the first 10 minutes that everybody conveniently forgot about and then shows up in the last 15 and gets hit by one of those girders that just comes down into the Atlantic on
Oh
top of
my
and they're like, Calamoshi! And it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Che cosa? So heavy.
I'd like to accidentally wrong a made man. You know, disrespect him in some way.
You in the back of your fucking.
2 in the back, the head. I'm eating my veal parmesan at that same restaurant because it was so good last time, even though that one guy was a fucking asshole for some reason at the bar that I told him off. And now I'm eating there again. I see some suspicious people giving me eyes, but that's not my problem. I'm just being paranoid. And then
Yeah.
lights out, baby,
I
while
feel
I'm
like we
eating a
can
veal
make this
parm.
happen.
Can we?
I know some guys.
You know, nobody.
I know,
You know
a couple
somebody-
of
you know-
men.
you know somebody that would shoot Feeney?
Yeah, his name's Mike Cannon.
Next question.
His name's Louis J. Gomez.
That's at the end.
I shot guns with Lewis, and so that was his chance. We were out in the middle of the woods in nowhere, Connecticut. That was his opportunity to kill me.
Wow, I would not have done that.
Yeah, you
Great
should
time.
tweet about that. Hey, Louis is a good guy.
Yeah, he didn't kill me when he had a
Flores.
clear chance.
He had a
Yeah.
clear chance to kill me and he didn't. Okay.
Yeah, it seems like a good opportunity to jump in on that Twitter thread. 11 days into the never-ending 100-year Twitter war that no one gives a fuck about, except the 3 people involved.
And everybody else is eye rolling.
Yeah, and you can't even you clicked on one of them, and now they just keep showing you all 3 people on your Twitter timeline, even though you don't follow 2 of them, and it just won't stop and go away.
Yeah, grow the fuck up. Anyway.
This is all Brendan. I don't want to be a part of it.
I don't care. I'll fucking do this alone. I don't need you. If you could play any position on your favorite sports team, what would it be? I don't want to go first on this one.
but I can do it alone, he says.
Why? Because you don't know the positions in roller derby?
I want to be big girl.
I want to be the enforcer on roller
Bertha.
derby.
I want to be the goon.
I could picture Brendan on 8 wheels, just absolutely shoulder shaking.
Torquing.
Yeah, that's the position I'm picking. The goon on a hockey team. The fucking just pow, pow. Like,
Hockey makes it more tough. I'm talking wood floor.
I could do that.
Roller derby.
I could do that.
minimal pads. Women. And I bet we should try to make this happen.
We should
There's
make
some way. Somebody knows a roller derby team. I think actually there are comedians that used to play. Maybe Leah Bonema maybe used to play a roller derby. But we should get access to that because Brendan doing roller derby would be pretty exciting.
I'd break every bone in my goddamn body.
So the question is, what position for any sports?
What position? Yeah. I get,
Top clam.
if you could play any position on your favorite sports team, what would you be?
I mean, center fielder for the New York Yankees is pretty fantastic. You're running out in the grass. You can fucking make some catches.
Coming out,
Yeah,
number
I like center.
69.
Center's because you're the leader of the outfield. You get to turn around and finger gun with the people in the audience. You don't really have to worry about anything until the ball gets hit to you.
Yeah.
And then for the most part, then you get to throw the ball. Being a pitcher is like there's so much on you. Infielder, this ball's coming 120 miles an hour at your face. Get me in the outfield. Let me see it. Make a diving catch every once in a while.
Is there a more you'll not know this, but is there a more stressful moment in a child's life than when they're just looking at daffodils hanging out and then all of a sudden you hear Mike, look up, and you're like, no.
Yeah.
You just have to run and follow the fucking ball.
Dude.
You're like, it's to me. This is my
Dude,
only chance in 3 hours.
Even in softball, well, that's the thing that I feel like people who don't play sports don't think about is like when you play baseball, there's maybe like 1 to 2 things hit to like each. I mean, obviously first base and shortstop are more and stuff, but like left field, you may not get one thing hit to you all game. There's that chance. So every time, even when I play slow pitch softball, when the ball gets hit in my direction, I'm immediately have like butterflies in my stomach because I'm like, don't fuck it up because who knows if I'm gonna get another chance. And then you're, even if it's like an easy pop up, you're like, oh god, oh god, oh god, like running, you're trying so hard. I can't imagine being in a playoff atmosphere, 50,000 people screaming at you while you're trying to do it.
I wonder if any of them take beta blockers
I bet they do.
or if that's even allowed.
I do feel like baseball, weirdly enough, feels more. I feel like I would perform better in baseball under a large circumstance because it's like, you can get the stress out of torquing a bat and even you might overswing and strike out and stuff, but you can run. Where I feel like basketball, if I had 40,000 people like screaming or jeering me while I was trying to like go a layup, I would T-Rex arm it or I would overshoot it.
I think it's all about what you're comfortable playing. Because like that environment sounded easier to me than the baseball thing, where I was like, oh yeah, just people yelling at me.
Yeah.
Just what an out loud YouTube comment.
Yeah.
That's perfectly.
It is really funny to be like, I wonder if they take beta blocks. And we know people that take that shit for like auditions at the cellar. So
Oh, yeah,
it's like, they're, I think.
But you know what it is?
It might be a PED. They might not be.
Yeah, but you know what it is, though, is like, I think with baseball, whenever you're holding the baseball, when you're trying to get rid of it, almost no matter in what position you're in, you're trying to get rid of it as hard as you possibly can. So there's no finesse level, where with basketball, you have to shoot it just the right strength each time. You can't just throw it as hard as you can every single time.
Well, there is finesse, but what's interesting about baseball is all the finesse comes from practice.
And your wrist.
Everything in the moment is just what I've learned.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So once you do it, it's all muscle memory. It's everything that just boom, boom. That's how it happens. So, but it's all practice. So I bet they get there like there's no stressor because they take 5,000 pop-ups every day. They're just used to whatever. And they've been playing in that environment. But I just read a thing which was interesting about baseball. This is a baseball podcast about how it used to be a sport played amongst 9 people or 10 people, right? The hitter and then 9 position players. And now it's a sport played between 2. The pitcher and the hitter.
Yeah.
It's like the most boring sport because of that. Major League Baseball has a lot of figuring out to do because it's such a pitcher-heavy league.
Well, they took all the sticky stuff up, and now batting average across the league, everything has got, all the offense is like coming back really fast once they stopped letting them have this. They let them use this like sticky tack on it, the pitchers. Well, they didn't let them, but they just didn't say no to them and enforce it. And they said that when they were letting go of the baseball, they found this out last year when there were no crowds in the stadium because you couldn't hear all the screaming in the audience. The pitcher, the sound when the pitcher would let go of the ball, they said sounded like Velcro ripping. That's how sticky the shit was.
Cool.
That's what it was. That's how sticky the shit is that they had on their fingers that they were throwing. That's why everybody was striking out and nobody was hitting.
That's like wiffle ball breaking shit.
Yeah.
It's impossible. You just have to sit on it and hope.
Guess. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I would play point guard for the Knicks. That would be maybe the best. I mean, I've played
in the garden.
Where I've played on the garden floor before. The first time I ever did it, maybe I've talked about this, but in high school, when I was a junior, our senior center, who was 6'2", his mother was like an executive for MSG, still might be, and she got us in to practice and then see NIT games. Like we sat floor and stuff. It was really great. But I remember going out onto that floor, and it was like emotional, dude. I was like, it was a sophomore year, junior year. I was like 15, 16, and I got out there and I just knelt down and I kissed the middle of MSG floor because I was like, this is
That's awesome.
This is the closest to what the Vatican means to some people as it would to me.
For sure.
This is it. This is the cathedral.
If I got onto Yankee Stadium on like the outfield, I would like take my shoes and socks off and go barefoot in the
you
grass.
have to shoeless Joe that.
Yeah.
I would strip nude. just fucking do pure golden retriever ass rubs across center field.
I got to be in the dugout I was in Shea Stadium back then. I would because from my college we did the journalism class. We got to go in the dugout, interview the manager and some of the players.
Valentin?
No, it was Jerry Manuel at the time who was the replacement coach after they fired Willie Randolph unceremoniously in a Bush League way. And Jerry Manuel was like the bench coach, but he was like this take no shit type of player where he was talking about what one of the players not running out of play to first base, like he was just kind of lollygagging it, and they talked about in the post game about it, and he goes, yeah, if he keeps doing that, I'll cut him. I don't give a fuck. Like he like stab him, not cut him from the team. I'll cut a guy if he doesn't do that. Like he was threatening. Cool. That's the level that he was. But he was like such a nice guy. It was just cool to be like, in the press box, you're standing on the field, you got the passes, you go in a separate way, you're in the dugout, and you're like, this is so fucking cool and stuff like that. But if it was a Yankees stadium, it would have been even more. But the fact that it was a Mets, I was like, all right, still cool.
I've been to I've been to like a lucky 15 Yankee games in my life, like it's a lucky experience, especially as a kid to go there. And I've been to minimum 30 Mets games.
Oh yeah,
and I couldn't care less.
Yeah, it's a beautiful ballpark.
Oh, I went to Old Shea. I remember Old Shea.
Yeah, Shea was a piece of shit.
It was a real rickety piece of shit, but it was fun, man. That vibe felt like you were going to like the Hudson Valley
the working
Renegades.
class.
Yeah, it was like every plumber in Queens.
Just bright orange seats.
Yeah, I've gone to the Long Island Ducks game.
Me too, and they give you the little the little fucking quack noisemakers. What's next?
Okay, here's another question. If you could have a year, any place in the world, all expenses paid, where would you go? A year. I think we've mentioned how great this place is. I think like Switzerland would be fucking awesome.
Switzerland.
Did we talk about Switzerland?
Yeah.
I think we did last time when I showed you those pictures of like that little
house.
That little town with all the
any kind of Christmassy town I fucking love. Like Quebec City is awesome.
You could just go to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
I've been to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. That's not Christmassy.
It's literally named Christmas Town.
Is it?
Yeah. So I don't know what you're talking.
Christ.
I don't think you've ever been there.
I feel like I have.
You definitely haven't because the whole thing is a Christmas theme.
But isn't there a place to do stand-up out there?
I don't know. I went there for a TV show recently, or a TV show
out there. But if that's true, then I want to go to I want to go to Christmas Town. Okay, let's go to Christmas Town, film it, Patreon stuff.
Okay, we'll go to Switzerland.
Yeah, I think if I get a year to live anywhere, I mean, initially I was like, Hawaii is very expensive. So again, I'm thinking value, but I'm choosing.
It's all expense paid.
That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking what's the most value I could get? What would be the most expensive place I could live for a year? Because that would be the most. But I think it's got to be, I would go like Amalfi Coast in Italy and just be on one of those. Pull up a picture of the Amalfi Coast, Nicole. I mean,
that
just
talented Mr. Ripley area. That is, right? Okay, Lucas getting a nod. I love that movie, and also Matt Damon in those sweet little Italy shorts. I'm in.
Oh my!
I mean, it is. I mean, look, it is just like everything you picture when it comes. They have beaches. It's just the best food you've ever had. Life is like. It actually wouldn't be that expensive because life is kind of like simple there, you know. But it is just gorgeous. I'd live there.
That's beautiful.
Look at that sunset picture too. By the way, come on, what are we doing? What are we doing here?
God, look.
Get out of here. That's Paris. That's one of those places you go to once and you go, what fucking idiots we are for living anywhere else.
Yeah, I know. We live in piss and squalor.
Yeah, but we're like, then I try every time when I went to Italy, I was like, but they don't have stand up and they don't have like the television and movie scene that we have, and they're like, oh, but everyone's happy. Yeah. So,
Nicole, would you move for us? If we
Absolutely.
went, okay, cool. So
we actually we make each other laugh.
Did we make it a pass?
If we moved to Italy, we might be the 3 strongest comedians in Italy in terms of just reps and talent. I mean, we won't be able to relate to these people.
I got to be honest. Looking at these pictures, I don't know if they need to laugh.
Yeah. Life is too good.
Yeah.
You're like, what would you add?
We don't get or need humor.
The only time we laugh is when you're holding your woman. And you're laying in bed and you laugh.
At all the other people.
She laughs.
Living life different.
You lay in bed with your woman, you take out your penis, and she laughs.
But she laughs.
All right.
That's cool. Where did you say?
I don't know. Is there anywhere besides that? Like, now I have no idea.
Well, here's the thing that I keep telling you that I gotta eventually just do, and if when you don't hear from me again, that's what happened. Is that Erica has a family member that owns an olive farm, owns like a house and an olive farm attached to it on the Amalfi Coast, and they're trying to sell it, and they can only sell it to somebody in the family. And like the house is kind of like, you'd have to kind of like level the house and build a new one, but it's that view. And you're like, well, then what are we doing?
Guys, just that could be our Patreon.
Yeah. I'll remote it from there.
/scenario pod. Sign up. I mean, unbelievable. Could you imagine if the family sold it to Erica and then found out it's a content hit house?
Yeah.
They're like, you fucking dildos. We sold you an olive farm. You started growing weed.
Yeah.
You ruined.
We still got olives.
Yeah, doing TikTok dances where we're all standing in line and dancing, saying a certain line.
Yeah.
I mean, our content would crush. Lucas, would you move for us?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Hell yeah, dude.
Okay.
Patreon.com/scenario pod. 500 Patreon members. We're moving to Italy.
My family was like very like, listen, Erica, we will buy it as a family and then just make it like a family timeshare where we can all share it. Because that's the thing. That's the only thing that sucks about if you have a nice place that's in another country. You go, well, then you never want to see any other part of the world.
Right.
Because it's like, at most, you can go there once a year. So you're like, what are you going to, twice a year? So you have to keep going back and maintaining and fixing things up.
Imagine how ugly that would get if you guys got a divorce? That would be just families pecking at each other. It would be
that little place
awesome
in Amalfi. Yeah. Dive in, get my fresh oysters from the sea, and then come out with the fucking little oyster knife.
Yeah, you have a 6-pack for some reason now.
I am golden brown, like golden grams.
Yeah, your hair is down to your back, like.
Yeah.
Oh, we'd all grow our hair.
I would absolutely grow my hair.
Brendan would have 4 strands coming down to his ass.
Just like Smeagol, just like these. My flashes.
Fucking Bill Murray and King.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brendan really does have white Trae Young hair.
Oh, please don't say that. That's sad as fuck, dude. Okay.
Now I empathize.
Now I
feel feeling.
Now I empathize. If you had to choose the title of your autobiography, what would it be? This is a good question.
Dickless and Unafraid. The Mike Cannon story.
I would question the unafraid thing, though.
Of being dickless.
I ain't afraid of not having a dick.
Yeah, dude. I'm a courageous Ken doll.
Courageous
Ken doll's a great one.
That's a good name for
the new one.
What about
you? Can't think of anything. I'm still thinking of
Brendan Sagalow. Slow and retarded.
No, those are names of the chapter.
And then the book cover is one of those like caution slow kids playing signs.
No, it's just me sitting in a corner with a big dunce hat.
I liked mine.
You had a good one. I liked yours better.
I think mine would be Mike Feeney. Who did it better?
Yours would just be who? It wouldn't even say your name. On the cover of
it's
it.
like the OJ book.
Yeah.
It says
If I did it?
Yeah, it would say Mike Feeney. Who? And then in little things inside the H, did it better.
Yeah. I would like to do a nice reveal in my autobiography too, like the last chapter. Be like, go through the chronicling of the whole life, and then at the end, be like, by the way,
it wasn't.
I've been dead this
I've
entire
hid $40
time.
million outside a small bank in Detroit. Good luck,
Yeah.
Yeah, or by the way, Robert Durst is innocent. It was me.
Yeah. Boy, how great would it be to just confess to something on your deathbed? Like, you die, and in your will, in your estate, it goes like, once I've died, you release this book publicly, and then you find out some crazy, like...
Dude, I was going to say, though, how awful would it be if you were on your deathbed and you feel your life slipping away and you're like, it was me. And then they stab you with a keep you alive serum. And, you're like, ugh, and they're like, off to jail.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Well, that's what's so frustrating, because a lot of times in this world we don't get answers, right? Like with the Ted Bundy thing, like he denied it, always just claimed he was innocent. Everybody was setting him up. They say that in like the moments leading up to the electric chair that he did admit it to some of the people, but then none of that's on record. Ultimately, he confessed the night before the execution. Yeah, they said that, but there's no like video footage of that where they have all these interrogations on video, and then that's the one that they don't. And you're like,
he just whispered it through the bars.
I thought
he only confessed to a fraction of his crimes too. At that point, it's like, dude, once you admit to 30 homicides, you're like, yeah, actually it was 70, and hear them all. Like, why not?
Well, this sounds really reasonable coming from somebody who hasn't murdered anyone. It sounds like he may have had a few screws loose.
Yeah. He also had a wife, so he was probably some of those killings probably like.
Well, that was like
probably
his second
lied
wife.
about some stuff, and he's like, I can't.
He had a wife after he got sentenced to death. She like a fan who wrote in, and then they got married.
I watched something on Netflix about that, women that are super into serial killers, and there was like an 80-year-old German serial killer that used to that had this fucking 19-year-old chick come in and like suck his awful dick once a month.
Dude, that's like that episode of Seinfeld where George dates the convict because he's like, it's perfect. I go see her, I leave, get back to my life. It's an easy date. And then she escapes, and he's like,
Dude, sucking an old dick must feel like chewing an already been chewed warm piece of gum.
Yeah.
Just the texture of that and how everything is all over the place.
Yeah, I think you
There's
stop
extra
getting
skin.
head at some point in life.
Not me.
I think
I'm gonna have my wife pop her dentures out and fucking gum me up like she's a baby teething.
Nice.
Yeah, I wonder what the age is you stop. 75? 70?
Hey, as
60s,
long
I
as
feel like.
as long as someone's still sucking, I'm still pulling it out.
That's right.
That's the name of my biography.
That's the episode, everybody. Thanks for watching. Again, here's the scenario.com, iTunes. Leave a review. Patreon.com/scenariopod. Sign up. We put out so much content on there. You got 3 different tiers. It's, this is the most interactive podcast on the goddamn planet. And as you see, if you reach out to us, we will get back to you. And if anybody we didn't get to, we'll get to next week. And we thank you very much for doing it. I'd like to quickly say, I don't know when this comes out, but if you guys are in town, if you're in Connecticut, August 5th through the 7th, come see me at Comics Mohegan Sun. I'll be headlining that. And I'm bringing Casey Balsham with me, who will be a newlywed. She'll just have been married. So she's spending her honeymoon in Uncasville with me. So, come hang out with us and, grab your tickets now. It'll be great. MikeFeeneyComedy.com for other dates and watch my special Rage
I have
Against
a
the
bunch
Routine.
of dates as well. The July 30th and 31st, I'll be in Washington, Spokane. Come out to that. 4 shows, Friday and Saturday night. Then MikeCannonComedy.com for all the dates. Me and Sags are going to go on a pretty sweet little run there in October. We're going from Ohio into Illinois into Chicago. It's going to be a really good time. I got more and more dates coming in, so check that out. Mike Cannon Comedy on the YouTube. Big shout out to Nicole, our producer, for not only killing it on this show with the clips, with the edits, with everything, but she's also the brand new editor of Mike Takes Edibles. She did the soccer episode
Fantastic
with Lucas
job.
and I. Absolutely
Such a good job.
crushed it. So many comments from the Patreon members about what a great job she did. That will be out mass to everybody for free very, very soon. But yeah, big shout out to her, and follow her on all of her socials.
Nicole,
as
where do
well.
you wanna
Nicole,
promote?
what's your social?
My Instagram.
Security number.
Yep, I got it. My Instagram is Nicole C. Lyons.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, you're actually fired.
Yeah.
I already put it on the Instagram story. So if you just go to Here's the Scenario Pod, you'll get my social security.
Oh, perfect.
My
Nice.
Instagram is Nicole C. Lyons, and my website is NicoleLyons.co.
Hell yeah.
.com was taken.
Nice.
And
Wendens?
I don't know if we said this, August 11th,
Oh, that's the most important one.
we are doing live stand-up. We're doing podcasting in Royersford, Pennsylvania.
And we have a special guest stopping by, too.
We have a couple
Confirmed.
Yeah.
couple guests.
Soul Joel's Comedy Club. Come the fuck out. Let's pack that shit. Let's pack that dome.
Yeah, we're looking to sell out. We already sold about half the tickets, actually. Joel texted me, so we're doing
Fuck
great.
yeah.
Incredible.
We can fit 400 motherfuckers under that bubble, so come out. We're doing some stand-up, doing live podcasts. Like we said, we got
guests.
guests. We got a couple tricks up our sleeve. So August 11th, Royersford, PA, South Jersey, Pennsylvania, Philly, all the surrounding areas. Come out. Very rarely do you get to see all three of us on a bill,
Hell yeah.
especially on the road, since we're all just, demanding much, much more money than these venues have. So just come out. Soul Joel. Very excited.
Fuck yeah.
See you next week.
Bye, everybody. Here's the Scenario is Mike Feeney, Mike Cannon, and Brendan Sagalow. Executive producers Robert Kelly and Matt Kleinschmidt for the Laugh Button Podcast. For more information about the show, visit here'sthescenario.com.
The scenario.